In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Did you hear it? Most of you probably didn't. It was very short and subtle. After blessing the palms, the priest and servers processed around the church and then went into the vestibule where the doors were shut. Suddenly, 3 loud knocks. And for once, it wasn't a toddler banging on the pews. Instead, Father Joshua took that large processional cross and struck the very doors, the entrance to our church 3 times with the base, and the doors were flung open. Christ, our Messiah and King, mystically leads us forth, each of us on our own procession through life. He leads us forth to the very gates of heaven, and he breaks open those gates which were once shut, that door separating God from man. It's now open. Opened by that most glorious cross, which Father Frank always explained to us was, when turned on its side, the very key to heaven. Holy Week is all about following. Something very difficult for myself, and I suspect many of you as well. It's very difficult for 2 reasons: pride and distrust. Either we're too prideful to follow behind, or we're too afraid to trust where following will lead us. But today, Christ leads us to the very threshold of Holy Week. Are we willing to follow him? Are we willing to take those first steps with him and enter into the drama, into the heartache, the long nights and the early mornings, to hold our palms high and cry out hosannas, to cry out, crucify him, and then to whisper, Deo gratias? Or are there doors and gates that are locked within our own hearts? Doors and gates that are separating us still from God? Barricades that we've constructed, barricades of greed, pride, fear, or worst of all, laziness. Open your hearts, dear friends. Let him tear down those barriers, those barricades you are placing between you and him. Don't be afraid to trust him. Don't be afraid to follow after him. Not simply catching a glance here and there, a passive bystander, but instead may we actively pursue him, cling to him, and be with him. But don't worry, you don't have to do this alone. Walk bravely with Our Lady. Hand in hand, she'll guide you. She'll guide you throughout these next few days, support you when you're tired and weak, assure your heart when you're ashamed or embarrassed, and gently lift up your chin to meet his eyes when you're distracted or overwhelmed. Set aside as many distractions as you can this week and follow after him. Brother Mark told me that some of those entering the church this Easter have even taken off work for the rest of this week in order that they may enter more fully into the mysteries present before us. What is so important in our lives that we'll refrain from following after him? What paths are we too proud to join him on? What sights are we too afraid to look upon? What doors are we keeping shut, unwilling to trust, unwilling to let him in. Try as you might, dear friends, your defenses will be torn down this week, and I can guarantee it. Those doors you think so safe and secure, locked tightly, Christ already has the key.